right, we are back for part 2 with Dan Abbott, also known as Sharkman Dan. We are analyzing tiger shark attacks and whether or not they are attacks. How about if we switch to South Africa?
Okay.
Everything has been Fiji so far. It's like I'm doing a hate campaign against Fiji. It's not my intention. It's just the way it's going. So we know this guy. This is Mark Addison.
Okay, yeah. Had a lovely dinner at his house, I think, didn't we?
Yeah. And I think Mark's behind the camera. And you were talking about showing a shark the tank, giving the shark the tank. I don't know if that was this person's intention, but it sort of worked out that way. This is terrible quality footage, but this guy's flat on the ground and the tiger shark pretty much is just hitting his, well, I want to say he's hitting his tank, but there's plenty of opportunity to bite other stuff. Again, I don't know how these people are getting away with this. And I hate the way those fins are up like that. It's like, hey, come down and please take my feet off.
Why do you think the shark took an interest in this guy?
A great question. I wonder if Mark would tell us.
Because I'm not seeing, unlike the other two, I'm not seeing any like obvious bait. I mean, maybe it's just off camera, of course, but I'm not seeing any like obvious bait direction of travel.
That shark looks like he's interested and he's coming in for an investigation. He's coming down into the rocks just like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Scavenging. It's like, what's happening over here? I wonder if Walter Bernardus knows about this encounter and could tell us. Because do you remember Walter telling us about how the early days of them trying to learn how to dive with tiger sharks and nobody knew it was possible?
Yeah.
And they slowly got their confidence up. Boy, this day could have ruined everyone's confidence if it would have gone a little bit differently. I don't know. Is that shark not opening his mouth very wide? Tell me what you're thinking, Dan.
I don't know. It is hard to see from the angle and the quality, but even if it's not a bite, it's a very determined bump, isn't it? I just wonder why this shark chose this diver. I can't see any.
Look at the head movement. He's rummaging. Yeah, it looks like he's trying.
Yeah,
but
I think to be fair to the diver there, they do quite a good job of just getting themselves like down and flat, and as I said, like giving them the tank and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, if that was
clearly haven't panicked as well. Like when the shark then swims off and you see the diver's face, they're actually looking fairly composed. Which
he looks extremely composed. I think he gives Mark a little nod here at the end.
Right. Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, everything's fine.
All good. Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. What are we swimming with next? Yeah.
Man, Mark was camera shy, so I don't think we can get him on here, but I'll ask him.
I wonder whether this, in the early days of the tiger shark dives, didn't Walter say something about they used to put themselves in like a little canyon or a little like backs to the wall kind of thing?
As they were developing their confidence, as they were trying to figure out what you could get away with a tiger shark, yeah, they were sticking close to the rocks, little crevices. So as far as we know, we're watching strategy taking place here, being close, being flat to the ground like that. But
yeah,
I don't think those feet up in the air count. part of a successful
I
strategy.
think is the diver just trying to stop him, stop himself from floating further out?
Probably. I know
You know,
my, I
got
mean, my feet do that. I'm not trying to sound like I would do any better. I just,
with the size of those fins, if you had them both up like that, it's going to stop your forward motion. And if you've got a shark like that heading towards you, I would say one of the things on the top of your priority list is to stop your forward motion. So maybe that's because he is finning a little bit there, look,
so,
and
so
then
he's breaking. You're saying
yeah,
he's
yeah,
breaking.
exactly, exactly.
And if the tiger shark were to taste something, that's, like a foot of plastic before it reaches your feet. So
Yeah,
let the tiger shark taste the plastic and then move on.
yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts before we move on from this one?
Um, no, I think in this one, I feel like credit a bit to the diver there. Um, I think they probably were quite aware of what was going on and what the right thing to do in that scenario was going to be. And yeah, and clearly it went well.
I'm going to jump in here with the clear advantage of post production review and show that the photographer in front, Mark, they're both named Mark, is actually aware of the tiger shark and is pointing the camera at the tiger shark, actually snaps a photo of the tiger shark, and then proceeds to tuck himself as low to the ground as possible. You know me, I still would like to give some credit to the tiger shark for not going for the foot, the butt, or the head, and just giving a little look and moving on. Maybe we can get Mark and Mark on the show someday in the future to talk about this. How about credit to Mark for
For filming it,
for just filming and not trying to help?
not trying to stick a big metal pole in the thing's mouth or redirect it.
So you've mentioned the Ocean Ramsey School of redirecting a few times. So are you making fun? You got something you want to get off your chest?
No, not really. Just that it seems to be coming up a lot. The practical act of redirecting a tiger shark and how effortless it is being made out to be.
Well, if it's effortless for anyone, it would be her and Juan because they are in the water with them daily.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. Juan looks pretty buff, but I don't know if that has anything to do with whether you can
Yeah,
redirect
you'd
that
have to be a
shark.
pretty confident tiger shark to pick a fight with one.
Yeah, I just don't know how much muscle matters underwater. Um, let's go. We've got more Fiji, but let's switch things up and let's go to the Bahamas. Actually, this is Florida. This is my footage. This is Jupiter. And that's me with my GoPro. And he's being nice enough to lead that shark right over my head. Nothing crazy happens right here, but I'm just showing it because the tiger's kind of pretty persistent. Look at this
Mm.
clumsy idiot kicking me in the face with his fins. It's like, can you please learn how to dive? See, he goes from that diver. There's that turnaround move.
Yeah,
There's that fake up and under, and he twists around behind him. And there's another turn. That tiger shark's making all kinds of turns.
it's much smaller than some of the others we've seen as well. Much younger.
There's the turn. I mean, how many turns did you count there?
Yeah, that's
That's
clearly interested in something in it, this animal.
it's pretty agile.
Yeah.
So you think being younger and smaller might help them
Uh,
be able to turn?
potent- well, and the curiosity perhaps. Uh,
Oh, the willingness to investigate rather than be already bored of it.
yeah, maybe not a set, not for sure, but yeah, it could be a contributing factor. Just just being completely driven by curiosity and getting fixated on something and wanting to make sure it gets as much of a view of it as possible.
So I'm going to rewind that bit one more time. I think a lot of people might jump on and say, "Oh, this is aggressive behavior." I might call it frustrated behavior because we'd been down there for a while, and
Right.
this tiger shark smells what it wants and cannot find what it wants.
Mm.
And after a while, you're like, "Okay, come on, where the heck is it?" And do you see that hand on the right? He's got the big old
Yeah.
piece of fish
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All right, here's the big one. Wait for it. Interested? Here comes the up, and here comes the turn. Oh, I'm wrong. I don't know my own footage. Well, he did do all that, but he went up and over, but not the cutback. Here comes the cutback. And cutback again.
Wow.
And it's coming back again. I mean, that tiger shark is getting a little persistent.
Yeah, and you could argue hunger could be a reason why an animal is getting a bit more pushy, perhaps. I mean, again,
Look how quickly
to be in the shark's corner here again for a second, it's doing what we're asking it to. Um, it's
well,
not
he's
doing anything
wasting.
other than than the foraging that tiger sharks are so good at.
And these divers are, of course, inviting the tiger shark to come to where they are and
Yeah,
forage where they are
yeah,
with the scent box, with the bait box. And he's wasting time, he's wasting energy. Um, now it sounds like I'm advocating against shark tourism. I'm just being realistic about why a shark might want something to come out of his effort after a while.
yeah. I think it's hard to really fully say what the shark is feeling because none of us speak shark. But you can understand any predator who is feeling some level of hunger to start getting frustrated if they can smell it and they know it's there somewhere, but they can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the same across all kinds of land predators as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not trying to understand the shark in terms of what's going on inside its head. As I said, it is a we don't speak shark. It is just essentially a big fish. But you can understand when a predator gets frustrated at times. Uh, yeah,
And we've got, you got an animal that's trying to find something. That's a pretty good reason not to take your eye off of it the second it goes past you.
yeah,
I'm not trying to sound like a know-it-all, but this is good advice. Don't don't assume that it's over because
yeah,
look where the
yeah.
diver's looking and look where the
Exactly.
tiger shark is.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
again, it's the grace of God or the grace of tiger sharks that these people aren't being decapitated. It's not anything that we're doing on our end.
Yeah,
That
that is for sure. And there's so many other things going on around the shark as well in the water, like the sound of the bubbles, the
sound of me laughing.
electricity coming off of the sound of you laughing, or the electronic fields that it will be detecting coming off of the cameras. Like its senses must be um, pretty charged, I would say, in this sort of environment.
A little overwhelming.
Possibly, yeah. I think if it was overwhelming, it would remove itself from the area. It's there's a lot to kind of process. And maybe for a young shark that wants to get in and get out before a bigger shark turns up, perhaps, then it has to find its food fast, and it's got to kind of try and deal with all these new elements in its world that it's not used to dealing with.
Those are good points. Dan, thanks for analyzing this footage with me, and thanks everyone for watching. We're want you to leave your comments. Tell us what we missed. Tell us what we were right or wrong,
and which species we should do next.
Indeed. Are we talking about encounters with another species, or just which species?
Shark bites.
Were any of these today? Were they attacks, Dan? After watching them?
No, no, of course not. Some of them weren't even close to being like anything. In fact, a lot of them were just misdirected sharks. No,
you almost have to blame the dive masters
being pushed onto people. Yeah, no, none of those were attacks. Absolutely not, 100%.
Okay, we're gonna do some more of these in the future. Again, give us feedback so that we can make them as good as we can. This is Skyler Thomas signing off, and
Dan Abbott signing off.